Can you hear that? The bubble is starting to pop. Robinhood and Reddit and more. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard. It's Bubba's Bottom Line with Bubba, and back from beautiful Las Vegas, cold and snowy, and playing in little cages to prevent the COVID. Still, the town was pretty packed, at least where we were. In the meantime, this first part will be brought to you by our friends at Tradier Brokerage. We do have other brokers, to be clear, but Tradier, they offer you first $10 a month commission. How can you pass that up? They have good customer service. Actually, it's great customer service. We've got their API, so you have the opportunity, should you choose, and that is totally up to you, to auto trade your portfolios or our algorithms to your specs. And of course, they're offering a free options course, which session 4 is next Saturday at noon Eastern time. In the meantime, I guess the big story of the week was the GameStop and AMC theaters. Is GameStop is now trading from going broke and going out of business just not that long ago. A brick and mortar company that sells real games when 99% of the games are downloaded from online. But of course, it is called a good old-fashioned short squeeze. We've seen them often before. Typically, we see those rip your face off rallies. Usually those are the representation of a short squeeze. And typically, they end in the same misery as always. In the beginning of a Ponzi scheme, the first entries are always the winners, and the late entries are always the losers. And I don't expect this one to be any different. This is a bunch of horse crap. Listen, I'm telling you, GameStop, yeah, could it still go up a little more? Sure, they could squeeze it a little bit harder. But you guys, you people who follow these chat rooms and buy into this crap, Wall Street bets and all this other stuff, hey, look, more power to you. If you can benefit from it, great. Okay. But I know when I start getting urgent and panic phone calls that the next target is silver. Okay. You don't think, A, the street is already pricing some of that in with the rally we've seen the last couple of days, and we'll talk more about that in our market segment. And B, okay, silver ain't GameStop. Silver ain't AMC, okay? The silver has, nobody knows the amount of supply. It's had a short balance forever because of those who buy physical and sell paper, okay? Could you get a squeeze in a stock? Yeah. Because again, it's the supply factor. But so what if some of the hedge funds get it rammed up their ass? It's not a big deal. With all the benefits they get for running those funds, give them a little ram job once in a while. It'll be all right. I mean, ask Bill Ackman. He still made billions. Okay, when he got it stuck with Herbalife. But again, this is only the sign of a market that is possibly getting ready to end. And again, we don't predict the end. And as a matter of fact, as you'll hear later, we are still long. But, you see these short squeezes in names that are unbelievable. And again, I remind you to go back and take a look at the 90s. Okay. We watched these stocks go parabolic and ballistic every day. Okay. And of course, half of them are out of business today. Half of them are out of business almost right afterwards. But in the meantime, you get enough panic, you get enough of these guys trying to drive it, you get enough of these chat rooms trying to push these things. It does not change what the stock actually is or if it ever has any true potential real valuations. Now, we are not fundamental traders, but I can tell you that if you're an options trader, when a straddle is trading for more money than the stock, what does that tell you? Okay? When you can short the straddle, if you want to short it, and you can short it for more than the stock is trading, okay, then you have something going on. And the other interesting factor here, which is always interesting. There's the old term on Wall Street or through the brokerage houses called hard to borrow when you're shorting stock. So where is everybody getting this stock to short? Number one. Number two, how can you be 147% above float short? Okay, so because that's supposedly, and again, I don't know how they handle it. I know what the rule is, I know what the law is, but I don't know what that doesn't mean anything. But you can only, you have to be able to borrow that stock. Okay, in other words, the broker has to borrow the stock to allow it to be shorted. Okay, and you've got some out there saying that they should just stop the borrowing. So, and once again, they want to take another component of the market, okay, which is the ability to be long or short markets, okay. So in the meantime, the options premiums are unbelievable. I've never seen them that high, okay. I've never seen a stock that's trading at 300 have a projected move over the next 4 weeks of over 1,000, okay, plus or minus. But so we can call it the big short squeeze, and you are seeing an up tick in silver at the end of last week. But again, as I tell you many times, I mean, when you start to see this happen, you know that the street is starting to price some of it anyways. And this is not your average hedge fund or your average investor that they're going against now, if this is indeed factual, which again, I don't know if it is or not. But if it is indeed factual, you're going against JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and those likes. Now, I think that they have a little bit more money, and I think they can stave off and they know what to do. So we'll see how it plays off. But again, we will switch when this signal does indeed change. But you have a bubble that is popping. And of course, there's been some articles written that, Jerome Powell, okay, and now added with his friend, okay, the other bubble builder, Janet Yellen, and again, you go back to the greatest of all, which was Alan Greenspan, which was the start of real bubbles. And but they don't have any choice when the bubbles pop. You see, this is where too many mistakes are made by average investors. This is where too many mistakes are by those who get caught up in FOMO and all the other things. And that is that when this bubble's ready to pop, it will pop. Okay, and they will not make an announcement. But the warning signs are as clear as a bell. The short squeezes that are happening right now, the ridiculous moves we're seeing in some stocks is it. And I go back to the tip-off of the 2008 collapse was in January of 2008. Winter wheat, Minneapolis winter wheat traded at $23, which was a short squeeze in monster proportions, very similar to what we're seeing now. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's going to collapse on Monday. Okay, the week was an ugly ending, and we'll see. But these are certainly dramatic warning signs. These are certainly giving you cause for concern. And if you caught me on Friday on Liz Clayman's show, I said this is the time to be in, because we're always in. We always want to be long stock, but this is the time to be a little bit more conservative, as you can certainly see the potentials of a major meltdown. Okay. And, listen, the bubble will pop when it pops. The economy will go into a recession depression when it does. And it's not helping that our new president is already breaking many of the promises. Okay. The pipeline. Okay. And of course, that was not going to stop so suddenly, and it's already over. It's already been signed off on. He's got more executive orders in his first 10 days of office or whatever it is than any other president. Okay. So obviously, the fact of the matter for everybody's concern is that President Biden remains a moderate, okay, and does not get pushed too far to the left. But you're already starting to see some fairly significant warning signs Okay, and that all that is going to do is going to allow the wealthier to capitalize and make more of the money and take more out of your hands. From the minimum wage at $15 to everything else they're doing, they're systematically destroying the small business. All right, now, again, do you want to see small business go away? Do you want to see competition go away? I would think not. I would think that all of us would be on the same page when it comes to that business competition creates pricing for us, the consumer. Okay, you eliminate competition and you change some of the pricing dynamics. And I think this is something that we are certainly letting slip by. And of course, Robinhood, which is the hot broker, we kid around in our private chat room about the Robinhood traders. They take a nap. They just got their stimulus checks and are out spending them like crazy. Well, they were one of the first commission-free type of brokers. But remember, they sell their order flow. But there is a big exodus out of there now because of the nonsense they pulled during the week in restricting the number of shares that could be traded. And of course, that is, it's not unconstitutional, but it is against any reasonable thought. Why should an investor, no matter which side that he or she wants to trade on, be restricted? So you're seeing a mass exodus. But remember this, as we close and get ready to go to break, brokers are only interested really on you holding on to your money, number one, and them collecting the float on your money. That is where the brokerage is really built, and that's where the money is made. Now, even at zero interest rates right now, there's still a little bit being made, but someday we're going to go up again, and all those assets under management will then turn them back into the profit machines they were. So that is their concern, which would also bring back that is probably why they put restrictions. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. I am Todd Bub Horowitz, and of course it is Sunday, January the 31st. Another month gone by. It is amazing how time flies. In the meantime, don't forget about our other brokerage partner, which I do have other brokers in futures and commodities as well. But in futures and commodities, we have CTG Group. And of course, they are phenomenal with great customer service, the only one authorized to trade our letter of direction and use our portfolios. And they've got some great new product for you, which is some nice managed futures products, if that's what's your game. I know they've got some real low minimums to start. In the meantime, if you need to reach out to them, go ahead and reach out direct, Capital Trading Group, ask for Nell. And if you want their info, just send me an email and I'll be happy to send it to you. Okay? And of course, don't forget our partnership with Family Farms. I'm getting concerned again. We're now in February, and this is when I had planned to make the trip once again to go down to the States. And of course, we're still shut down. So that is still not an option yet. And so it looks like the next trip is going to get canceled. So now it's going to be another 6 months until after the next harvest. Who knows? The vaccines are out. But in the meantime, Family Farms, great partner, great people. And I know we've got the conference coming up in the next month or so. I know it's going to be virtual and in person. So I'll give you more information on that. And of course, our commodity report by Andy Heck, there is nothing better. I'm just telling you, okay? If you're a commodities person, silver, gold, platinum, any of the others, he's got the best ETFs. He's got the greatest pulse on the market. I just spent 4 days with him in Las Vegas. You want to check it out? Great, okay? And I'll tell you what I'm going to do with you. If you want to see the last week's report, okay, you can certainly check it out. I will send you last week's report to take a look at it. Okay, all you do is email me at bub@bubbatrading.com. And don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. And we're going to get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, your host, Todd Bubba Horowitz. Let's get back to the show. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 31st. And of course, this portion will be brought to you by, of course, our own commodity report. How could I not want that to sponsor this particular segment, especially with what's going on. And again, it's the Technomental is the name of it. It is phenomenal. If you're a commodities trader, it ties in not only Andy's 40 years of actually trading from the board to the physical, okay, to the real, to and everything else, okay, and using our algorithms in conjunction. In the meantime, we are offering you last week's edition. If you would like to see it, we will be happy to send you last week's edition. Just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. In the meantime, so the week was ugly. The week that was ugly, okay? And we saw some very heavy selling late into the week, and we closed at a really ugly position. Tonight's opening should be very interesting. Now, okay, we are still long across the board. Okay, now I apologize. I apologize. Hold on, I made a mistake. Losing my mind, tired. We will be reversing the Dow and the S&P tonight. Okay, we will be reversing those two, but until tonight we are long. But tomorrow will be split and very close. Another down day, and it doesn't have to be a big down day, but another down day, we will be short them all. So we'll be on the other side of the markets, which actually, as you know, I believe that will be the right side sooner rather than later. Okay, but either way, we're there now. Okay, the metals. So we are still short gold, we are still short silver, and we are still long platinum. Now, there's obviously the Wall Street bets, threatening another short squeeze. Again, I don't believe if you know the story of the Hunt brothers who tried to buy it all and corner the market. I don't believe, yes, I think they can do it a lot of damage, but I think you've probably already seen it. Now, that doesn't mean we won't reverse, because I would assume, based on the action and based on where we are, if silver has an update tonight, tomorrow, then we will be reversing anyways. It's very close to begin with. But right now we are still short. Gold is nowhere near to reversing, and platinum is really nowhere near to reversing to the short side. But those are where we stand for now. Crude oil, which we are still long, and crude had a very flat week, flattish, but it is really just stuck in that range, 51 to 55. Okay. Bonds and notes are split. We're short 30-year bonds. We are long 10-year notes. What does that mean? Well, you've seen the rates have been going up. So that's something that doesn't make sense they're going up, but they're going up at the retail level. And so mortgage rates will start to go up. And of course, we just had housing sales at records since we haven't seen since 2006, with half the country not working. Interesting. Copper, a down week, we're still long, and I would suspect that should that get closer, another down day or so, that'll probably reverse as well. Nat gas, we're still long. It was up just whatever, very small. The dollar was up tiny as well. And, you have to remember, okay, that again, if you're following a mechanical system and a trend, then that's what you follow. Okay. Now, grain markets, phenomenal. Now we're still short soybeans, long corn, long wheat. Corn made a new high last week. Okay, so soybeans are coming back, and I'm gonna guess they're gonna change back to the long side with a rally. Now this is again, I don't change early, I don't jump the tape, so to speak. And on this silver short squeeze, the people that were calling me, again, I'm going to wait. We will get in when it's time. Okay, when the algorithm, and that's, you don't want to fight what works 66% of the time. It is not worth your while. It is not worth your time. And what you've done now, you've taken the odds and turned them against you over the long haul. As we look at the meats were all down a little bit, but they're hanging. I mean, I apologize. The hogs were higher. In fact, they made a new recent high last week. But the cattle was both slightly lower. What does it mean? Nothing. We're still in this consolidation pattern, and they still have a very similar look to what we saw in the grain markets. So I expect it to be, we're long across the board, and I expect that to stay, and I expect this to go much higher as we go through. And in the softs department, okay, we are short we are short cocoa, okay, and we are short OJ, okay, and they were both, cocoa was higher last week, OJ was lower. We are long coffee, we are long sugar, and we are long cotton. And those three were slightly higher last week. Now, again, it wasn't enough to get crazy or worry about, but I think you have to remember, okay, the function and the way that markets work, okay, and remember to keep your emotions out, okay. If you are going to let your emotions dictate how you trade, you will never make any money over the long period of time. If you are going to try to trade the news, especially listening to the imbeciles that are reporting it, okay, they are clueless as to what they're talking about because they're not paid to know how markets function and how markets work. So yes, Reddit is rambling along and they're doing some pretty good manipulative damage. I'd like to know who's behind it, okay? Because this is not driven only by 5 and 10 and 20 and 100 share traders. There is some money behind this that is creating and wreaking some of this havoc on markets. But that is, look, like we always tell you, we'll be willing to reverse. I'm not against it, but I will not base myself. I mean, I got 3 calls today about silver, about what Wall Street Bets is doing with it. So we'll see. Listen, SLV. So when I look at silver, everything is right near the top end of consolidation, on the cusp of being ready to change. So we'll see what happens. Look, stay out of the news, stay out of the chat. Remember, anybody who is trying to pitch you on ideas every day during the trading day and trying to pound the message home, usually what does that mean? That they're trying to do the other side of the trade. So just keep that in mind. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz with you, and we're going to step out for a break and come back with my commentary. We have our partners, okay, at CTG Group and Trader, our brokerage partners, and of course I have other brokers, but with CTG Group, they are for futures and commodities, okay. They have phenomenal customer service. They are the only ones authorized to trade our algorithms, letter of direction. So, you don't have to, we don't require anybody to trade through anybody else. You trade where you want, okay? We make things available to you. In the meantime, they do a phenomenal job, and they've got some great new managed futures products at some very low barriers to entry. You may want to check them out. In the meantime, if you need some information, you email me at bubba@bubbatrade.com. And of course, then there's Trader, okay? Our futures, our equities and options broker. Now look, first thing is they charge you $10 a month. Now, I traded last month, okay? I traded 21,000 contracts, okay, for $10. Okay, if I was anywhere else, it would have cost me about 15 grand. You tell me. Okay. Number 2, they've got great customer service. Number 3, we've got their APIs and we're allowed to automate through them, and that is for those who choose. There is no rule you have to automate. This is a feature we're offering. We're not charging for it. It is part of your membership. You get the ability to automate your portfolio and let it trade for you. Okay. And they're giving you free options, of course. What more can you ask for? Especially because I'm teaching it, which is session 4 will be next Saturday, February the 6th at noon Eastern time. Now, our high school program, don't forget about that at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and me with my commentary, Todd Bubba Horowitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 31st. And of course, I find this one of the most troubling stories of the week. We talked about the short squeeze. We talked about the GameStops and the new squeeze, maybe in silver and all this other stuff. But Mike Lindell, okay, now you may not like him, okay. You might think he's over the top, but he is the My Pillow guy. But what bothers me here is not that he's over the top, but he is a little over the top, okay, but that he is now being restricted. So another freedom being taken away because of a man's opinion, okay. He was taken out of Beyond, Bed Bath & Beyond. His product, My Pillow, was taken out of Target. All the major retails have dropped My Pillow. Okay, now I happen own one. Okay, and I think they're phenomenal. Okay, I do think they're good, and they're everything that he says they are, and they are made in the USA. But again, I think when you start to block people's freedom, we talked a little bit about this last week, tyranny. Okay, you're taking away a man's opportunity to earn a living because you don't like his opinion or the way he presents it. And I think that is wrong. It's the same as taking away the free speech on Facebook and Twitter and maybe others. Again, I don't use any of it except, I use it as an outbound spot, but I don't read anything because I know what I'm going to read there. Okay. But I think you have to be very careful. But this is just another shot that we're going to ignore. And if you remember the old poem or story, and it is, first they came for X. Let's say they tell it with different things, but let's say I think it was for the Jews. I wasn't Jewish, so I didn't get involved. And they came for the Catholics. I wasn't Catholic, so I didn't get involved, and so on and so forth. And by the time they came for me, there was nobody left to help me. Well, this is exactly what is happening right now. And unless we step up, Americans, and say something, okay, just remember, you could be the next one that they shut down because they don't like your opinion. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. And of course, there's no football. Next week is the last big game. So we'll let you know next week who we like. In the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody. It's great to be back. Sorry for the updates during the week. It was a real traumatic experience for me being away with technology issues. In the meantime, we're here. Have a great week. Let's see what happens with the openings tonight. And then tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow on Bubba's Daily Update. And of course, through text. And then, of course, next week with Bubba's Bottom Line. Have a great week, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow on Bubba's Daily Update.